Hello, Michael Bull here with America's Commercial Real Estate Show. We're at the National Apartment Association annual conference, and this year it's in Atlanta. And we have Jim Wilson here with us. And Jim, a lot of people are concerned about what's going on with the new government, right? Our new president and Congress. Seems like a lot of things are potentially on the chopping block. You guys are instrumental in trying to help with that. What are some of the things that we might not want to happen out there?
Right. Well, it's a great question, Michael. And I think the thing to keep in mind, it's been a long time since America has done comprehensive tax reform. It's been 30 years. And anyone who's been in commercial real estate, those who remember 1986 realize it didn't end well for commercial real estate. This industry woke up with a pretty bad hangover.
Yeah, and I was there. I was selling apartments, and everything fell through. Freddie Mac owned all the apartments, and the S&Ls failed.
Right. And we want to make sure that as they're considering it now, it's a unique situation. You've got unified control of the government, unified Republican control of the government. They're naturally oriented to want to do something with the tax code to make it more friendly to growth and make it more friendly to prosperity and jobs. And those things are all wonderful, and we want to be part of a meaningful, smart reform of the tax code. But when you think about how certain things get cut, other things have to be looked at to pay for rate reductions. And we want to make sure that they keep in mind basic things like business interest deduction, low-income housing tax credit, like-kind exchanges, 1031s, that sort of thing. We want to make sure that when we see the whole package, that it's going to be a net positive for the apartment industry. An industry, as you know, is responsible for housing 39 million Americans, 12.5 million jobs, trillions of dollars into the economy. So we've undertaken a campaign now before legislation's been written. It's called Protect the Lease. We want to make sure that everyone in the industry, not just NAA members, but anybody in this industry, makes their voice heard with their member of Congress, reaches out to them and says, if you're going to do tax reform, please do it the right way. Please don't do 1986 again.
Yeah, please don't do that. And what would you say to the viewer or listener that says, look, Trump is a real estate guy. Do we really need to worry about this?
Well, I think it's an interesting question because I think you've seen some stories the last couple of weeks. He is a really successful real estate investor. He's been a very successful developer. I was born and raised in New York City. I've known that name long before he got involved in politics. He's had a lot of success, but he's used things like the business interest deduction. He jokes about being the king of debt because he's able to take on debt and develop properties and do all sorts of successful things. Other people see that from the outside and they say, well, I don't quite understand that. And if you don't like the president, all of a sudden it becomes a rallying cry. So it's a kind of a sticky wicket that we have to, I think, navigate in order to make sure that people understand that is a tool that's used throughout commercial real estate, certainly in the apartment housing industry. And it's to say, you wake up tomorrow and you don't have the ability to deduct that business interest, that is a sea change. So that's just one of the facets that we're concerned about.
Yeah, and that's a big one. And I think another one is the 1031 exchange. They're saying, you talk about one that maybe some people not in our industry don't understand, but this could be devastating to the economy. There's a lot that goes on around a 1031 exchange where money's changing hands with a lot of different businesses and companies, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, we had a member, one of the members of one of our committees was explaining to me it's a family business. She's been in it, her family's been in it for decades. They have a portfolio that's worth in the tens of millions, maybe even more, but they are able to use the like-kind exchange to get out of some of the older properties or redevelop some of the older properties that they have. If they lose the like-kind exchange, basically the net value of all their property, instead of tens of millions or more, would be basically $1 million. So that's a real significant potential loss.
Yeah, and it's incredible the amount of business that goes on. We do a lot of 1031s in my shop. We're based here in Atlanta and do business around the Southeast. And I could tell you, without the 1031, there's going to be a lot of people losing money. Attorneys, title companies, inspectors, construction, managers. I mean, there'd be a lot of growth that would stop. And so what's the easiest way for a viewer or listener to do something about this to maybe help out?
Well, the thing that we've done, we set up a campaign. It's called Protect the Lease. We have what's called a microsite, or basically a mini website. It's very streamlined, protectthelease.com, and you can go and learn about the issues that the industry is concerned about right now. You can send a message to your member of Congress. What we're doing here at the conference is we've set up a kiosk where people can also do those messages to Congress. So far in the month that the campaign has been live, we've done about 10,000 letters to Congress. About 3,000 of those have come in just the past 2 days. So we're very encouraged by the response here in Atlanta. There's other videos for personal testimonials from our members who've 1031 or who've developed properties, affordable housing using low-income housing tax credit. So some of their personal stories, but check out the website, share your story with your member of Congress, let them understand what the stakes are as they really get underway with tax reform.
That's great. I'm glad you guys are doing that website. People can find more, they can do something about it. Great. Thanks for joining us today.
Sure. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
I'm Michael Bull, and this is America's Commercial Real Estate Show.